Hello and welcome to the WBPodcast. Late edition due to circumstances, but we're here. It's happening.
You actually sounded excited this time.
I sounded excited. I'm gonna make you do it one of these days so you get to the definition.
Welcome to the
Be like the most awkward,
podcast.
like peeing in a urinal for the first time.
I did it!
Shy
Yay!
and scared.
I was never shy and scared to piss in a urinal.
I don't know, really.
Yeah, it was a giant trough thing.
Yeah, that's what I had to do the first time.
No, I had
That's cool.
Individual urinal. Yeah, I can do that. But you put me in like a work trough thing. I'm like, nah, I'm not pissing in that thing.
To piss in it. How are you feeling after your injury? Should tell people what. Hey, it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, I told you that when I handed you the cup.
I didn't see that. That's cool.
For those of you who don't know, he has a Spider-Man cup.
I have a Spider-Man cup. It says Marvel and Spider-Man. That's cool.
I
didn't see him. I don't listen to everything you say, but go on. Talk about what you saw.
I don't know. Are you gonna listen to me if I say it?
Well, other people might be
Probably
listening
not.
to you. Yeah, I don't have to listen to you.
I've heard this story before.
Sometimes I go back and listen to the podcast and I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know we talked about that.
That did happen.
Wow. Oh yeah, for those that didn't know, Tad got hit in the head.
Yeah, that's basically what happened.
Yeah, that's what happened last weekend.
Yeah. We were going to do this last Saturday, and then I was like, I'm going to bed. Then we're going to do it Sunday.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to get up early in the morning.
Yeah.
Then we're going to do it Monday, and like Monday morning, I had like a bunch of ceiling tiles fall on my head, and...
It must have hurt.
Yeah, it was...
Like, you can't just say ceiling tiles, because I think ceiling tiles are like made out of foam.
Yeah, like...
They were not made out of foam ceiling tiles. They're like...
they were like this like
hard.
fiberboard thing.
Fiberboard, yeah.
Yeah, like it adds some heft to it.
On the top of your head. What would you say? Like the
We're,
top
like, right
distance.
where the soft spot, like where like when you're growing up.
Yeah, but I mean, how far do they drop from?
At least 4 feet.
4 feet.
At
That would
least.
probably hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't like they landed flat, like they turned midair and the corners caught me
Yeah.
and shit. Like
How many?
3.
Yeah, so that makes a difference too.
Yeah. It wasn't like just one, like, oh, ow. It was like, boom, boom, boom. Oh, son of a bitch. Like, as the day went on, like, the headache just got worse and started getting nauseous and dizzy. And
He went to the hospital.
yeah, I went to go to the hospital, and I had every symptom of a concussion, but they ruled it as not a concussion. You know, I had every symptom.
Yeah. Either they don't know how to read a CAT scan.
Yeah.
Or he didn't have a concussion.
I didn't have a concussion. I just had every symptom of physical and psychological. And they said, don't go to sleep when you get home.
Yeah.
They said you can't go to sleep, but they'll leave you in a dark room by yourself for over half an
I
hour.
honestly just don't think they knew. Because I told you that before. Like, I was like, I don't think they knew.
It's because our hospital fucking sucks.
Yeah,
Like, the ER here is horrible.
Yeah. You don't go there to get saved, you go there to die.
Yeah. You go there to have them take you down to Omaha. Like,
Yeah,
you can't make
basically.
it. Like, I
Make
can't
the
make
bill
it.
bigger. Like, looks pretty bad. You better go to Omaha.
Well, that's pretty much what happens. Like, if we can't give you aspirin, you're better. You're going to Allegiant Health, and
They will shove aspirin down your throat.
they will charge you a shitload for that one aspirin too. Like,
Yeah.
fucking.
I did get my finger got sewn up there. They did a pretty good job. So
They can do little things,
Yeah.
but like I went up there when I was like 15
Mhm.
because I had appendicitis, and that's what my dad said when he got there, and they said it was like dermatitis or some shit. They got like you can only find out if you drain out some spinal fluid, and they were like,
Whoa!
They were really animate about like taking spinal fluid, but I was like, no, it's appendicitis. I'm like, no, that's not it. And he's like, I'm fucking taking him down to Omaha. And he like puts me in a car and takes me down to Omaha. I don't remember any of this. I was like passed out from the fucking pain. And like right when they get there, the doctor's like, oh, you got appendicitis. Like it's
They were gonna
oh.
tap your fucking spine.
Yeah,
That would have hurt.
That's what they wanted to fucking do. And my dad's like, no.
That would have hurt bad.
But like right when we get down to Omaha, like the first doctors that they didn't touch me or nothing. He just, oh, he's got appendicitis. Like clearly, this is what it
There's
is.
a funny story about Tad's dad. Tad's dad's like a fucking old time player.
He's a pimp.
He is a pimp of women. Anybody should like be in awe of that guy because he knows how to get down. And I saw on Facebook, because I'm friends with him on Facebook, that he fell down off a ladder. And I laughed at him about it. And then, like, all these women were like, oh,
are you okay?
I was like, oh my god. I wanted to say something, but I felt like saying something would just, like, mess up his groove, but even then, I think he probably could have bounced back and like,
Oh yeah, easily.
he would have turned it around. I was intimidated. I had to back out at that point. I was like, holy shit.
I can make fun of Ted because I can win this one, but.
Well, I did make fun of him because he's like, I think his post was like said something like, in case you guys didn't know, snow is cold.
When you fall off a 5-foot ladder.
Yeah, when you fall off a 5-foot ladder and it's like 2 below.
Yeah.
And I posted like, I'd like to think snow is cold regardless of the temperature. So, he's like said something like, well, it's not so bad when it's like 50 degrees, but when it's 2 degrees, it's colder. And I was like, man, okay.
I think it's because when you get out of the cold snow, it's still really cold.
Yeah,
Whereas when you get out of the cold snow and it's like 45, 50, you're like, oh, this isn't so bad.
I get what he was getting at, but at the same time, the way he said it was like, well, snow is always cold.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It's frozen water.
Yeah. Ice cream is probably cold outside in 2-degree weather too, but not as it's still cold in 50-degree weather.
The temperature doesn't really change.
Yeah,
when it does, it no longer stays as snow and just turns into.
It probably helped him in the long run because if it was warmer, the snow probably wouldn't have broke his fall.
I don't know.
As bad. So that was just funny. I think all these women.
Oh
yeah.
And whenever he posts anything, it's always like you got like
women?
one or two guys who are like ha 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 ha, and then it's just like
Women.
It's like 16 chicks just you blah 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 blah. It's just,
that guy is a pimp.
Yeah, you tell me.
How many brothers and sisters you got?
6.
6.
Yeah, there's 6. There's 6 of us total.
Yeah.
I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters.
He doesn't even have to say he's a pimp. He can just be like, "See, these are my kids."
Yeah, these are the ones that made it. Like
there's probably other ones out there.
I don't know if there is.
Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Who cares? You might be like 50 years from now, like, hey, you got like 8 brothers and sisters over here. Hi guys, I didn't.
They're all from Tennessee.
I dated you. Oh. Dad!
Why didn't you say it?
Damn it, Dad.
My defense, I didn't know.
Mm-hmm. The future defense.
Yeah.
I didn't know. That's fair. I wouldn't blame anybody if that was the situation.
There's no.
Yeah, if they're adopted or something like that, I wouldn't blame them. Like, oh, okay, well, you didn't know. It's their parents' fault. They should feel more ashamed than you guys. Or embarrassed about it.
You fucked your sister.
Yeah. If you didn't know.
Oh,
it was like
she has a last name. We look completely different. You know.
It's if you keep fucking her after they find out.
Well, sometimes when you find true love.
Yeah, I know. Hey, yeah.
You just keep it.
I'm not gonna judge people who like to do things. So I wanted to say on the podcast that this week we lost a good artist, Monty Ohm, the creator of Ruby. He also did motion cap for Red vs. Blue. He died.
How?
He went in for a simple procedure. Nobody knows what. Maybe ceiling tiles fell on his head. I don't know what the procedure was, but he went in for some simple procedure is all I know. And the drugs they gave him, he had an allergic reaction to. He fell into a coma and he never came out of it.
That is horrible.
Yeah.
He died. He was young too.
33. He accomplished a lot though.
Yeah.
By 33. I mean, I was talking to somebody at work today even about it, and I was telling all this stuff he did. And he was like, "Hey, did you ever see this video?" And I was just saying because I said he did a video with Samus versus Master Chief before he was working for Rooster Teeth. And he's like, "Hey, that reminds me. You ever see this video about Samus versus Master Chief and like all the armor fell off and I was like, yeah, that was the video I'm talking about." He goes, "Oh, Monty did that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it says at the end of the credits, like, Monty. So, yeah, really sad. We don't really talk about everybody's deaths. I mean, the guy who played, fucking The Return of the Jedi, the co-pilot for, Lando Calrissian, that Mexican-looking alien with the big lip who sat next to him when they went the Death Star run. Mm-hmm. He's like, brr, 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 brr. That guy died too this week.
Oh.
But I'm not going to talk about every death. That's pretty tragic too, I guess, in the long run. But
Sure. Every
But I thought, every death is. But, like, the obvious ones, like, Robin Williams dies, like, everybody knows Robin Williams died. But I didn't think everybody knew that Monty died. I was kind of sad about it.
It is kind of sad.
Yeah.
They do, like, a memorial for him?
Yeah. They even, they didn't post any videos for one day. One day, I would have been understanding if they didn't want to post any for, like, a couple days. That's true. But they only took one day off. And then they made a memorial video, and, Because the first thing was, Monty was in, like, serious condition at the hospital, and they, started out, like, a Kickstarter to give his family some funds to pay for his medical bills, to help pay for his medical bills. And I was like, oh man, I hope he's okay. I hope he makes it. Next day, I'm regret to inform you, Monty Ohms, at age 33, passed away.
Like, did he pass away on his own, or because, like, they took him off, like...
They didn't take him off. I don't know the small details. I don't know that far into it. I just know that it's hard to say. If he did slip into a coma, it's very possible that might have been what happened, but I don't know. You'd have to, like, read a medical report, and I don't think that it's a little too far. I know some fan actually, because that was that one day where they didn't post any videos, and I don't even know what they did that day, because I know they're like the Rooster Teeth family is like a really tight knit family. It's a job. They still have fun at that job. I don't know what they did that day. I don't even know if anybody even had to come to work, but if someone snuck in the middle of the night and put like a trail of like rose petals on the parking lot, because like if you watch Ruby, like Ruby Rose, like, does like a whole trail of rose petals. So, and they tweeted about that. And like, whoever did this, thanks. It meant a lot.
Well, that's depressing.
It is a little depressing. Talk about something else. There's like a lot of things on my mind, but I can't remember all of them.
There's not a lot of happy stuff going on right now.
This week?
Yeah, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
The
Tag got hurt and then Monty died. That's been a great week for stuff.
People won't shut up about the freaking Super Bowl.
I have nothing to ask you about the Super Bowl. There was some stuff I wanted to ask you about, but it was nothing about the Super Bowl I wanted to ask you about.
I
don't give a fuck about the Super Bowl.
For this last week, I don't watch football, and people give me crap because I was going to watch it this year, and I got 5 minutes into the first quarter, and I passed the fuck out.
Mm.
I wake up with like 10 minutes left in the game.
The only thing I take away from the Super Bowl is that some jockey person who likes sports and stuff like that gets an argument about something, about like cheaters never win. I'm like, well, no.
They do.
That's not true, though. They do win.
Patriots, they went all the way.
They went all the way to the Super Bowl
4 times.
Yeah, they cheated their way through it.
Deflate gate. Like, why was that a thing?
Well, apparently I had to ask about that. I guess
they were
at a game.
Yeah, they were letting air out of like the football. So
yeah, at a game, the
but
team gets to play with their own balls. So each opposing team has their own balls they bring to the game. Their balls were under-deflated, and apparently they're easy to catch if they're a little under-deflated. I don't know. I honestly, that surprised me because I was like, I thought like the referees would have brought balls in that were like all regulated and checked and everything like that. Like, so shit like that wouldn't happen.
You'd think.
No, they actually go the dumb route and not do shit like that. So this is why I don't watch sports. So
yeah, it was in that game. I watched part of that game. That day, I fell asleep at the beginning of Seahawks versus Green Bay,
mm-hmm.
and I woke up with like 5 minutes left of the Patriots and the Colts, and they were up like 47-7.
It was really close.
The Patriots versus the Colts. Oh yeah, 47-7.
Is that the Super Bowl?
No, that was like
I meant the Super Bowl.
That was the playoff game. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
who goes
yeah.
to the Super Bowl. So like, they're like, oh, it's because of these footballs. Like, oh yeah, because deflated balls gave them 40 extra points.
Well,
like, that's what
the
happened.
only thing I think when they say that, it's not the fact that they got caught then. It's like, how long were they doing it before they got caught then? They could have been doing that all season.
A couple of years ago, like they got caught with
I heard something like that too.
Like they were like spying on the other teams. Like so, like the second half they'd come out, they'd know all the signals and shit.
Hey, they really want to win. They're willing to go that extra step to cheat to win. I mean, they really want to win. They're just not really good at covering up their cheating.
I think they don't care. It's like, what are you gonna do?
Fine us? Okay, here, fuck.
We'll make even more when we win the Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
We're a dynasty, bitches.
I guess the cool thing about that is Chris Evans and Chris Pratt that
they would dress up in their outfits.
They did end up doing that, and they ended up going together actually instead of and I saw pictures of that. Even though I thought
they should do it anyway, but
think
they might have done it anyway.
Yeah, I figured what, Chris Evans, Captain America. I figured he would wear it anyway, just to be fucking whatever. But he didn't. He totally was in t-shirts and fucking sweatpants. I'm like, you fucking lazy bastard. He could have fucking something. And when I was like thinking, I was like, maybe the Captain America outfit is a little bit encumbersome. And then he's got a lot of choices too. Like, there's actually a lot of Captain America outfits. I'm like, which one would he wear?
Chris Pratt's just got the one.
Yeah, he's just got the one, and most of that is just like pants and an overcoat. I mean, there's really not a lot to that one, so he didn't wear the helmet, and I wouldn't have expected Chris Evans to. But that was a cool thing they did.
I figured Chris Evans would have had like the shield with him or something, though.
At least, something. I figured he would, if anything, wear a Captain America t-shirt.
Or just like wear boots, jeans, a Captain America leather jacket, and have the shield. Like it's like
he could.
Like it's just his day off.
Yeah,
like, he's hanging out.
No, he didn't even shave for that shit.
Well, to be fair, he won. So
he did win. It was his choice. I'll give him that. He didn't have to, but he could have. It was like the end game there.
No.
What else is going on? I know there was like, I posted a video. Did you ever watch Naruto?
I watched like when they were kids. Like,
no, they had like the death battle.
Yeah, with Toph versus
Yeah.
I remember. I remember the first episode.
I don't know if you watched it yet.
Yeah, I watched it last night. Actually.
Oh, did you watch it?
I remember when I first saw the Gawa. I don't know how to say his name.
I didn't watch it.
The first time I ever saw him, he faced like Rock Lee or whatever the kid's name was, and like the one Rock Lee, the dude who was like all green with his bowl cut.
Yeah, the green jumpsuit.
Yeah,
okay.
And he like unlocked like all of his chakras and stuff, which would destroy his body.
Yeah.
And that was like an awesome battle. And I don't think I watched any Naruto after that. I know like they carried on. they like aged the characters and stuff.
I watched my friend Josh was really big into Naruto, even though he told me he absolutely hated the character in Naruto.
Yeah.
He loved all the other side characters, and he said the show would be the best show ever if it wasn't
focused on just him.
Naruto. Yeah, if it wasn't for Naruto. And I was like, well, the show probably wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for.
Well, they had other episodes like where it's not just about him. Like they had like different.
Oh
sets.
yeah, that was the stuff he loved.
Yeah,
he loved that stuff. He just hated that character. He thought he was just everything wrong, but he loved the show that the character lived in. So
I hate the main character.
He hated the main character. Yeah. So he would always show me stuff, and that's about as much Naruto. I remember watching like the Nine Tails almost getting released for the first time, and how big of the deal that was. And I was like, he was sitting there going, oh, and I'm like,
what's going on?
He's like, this will be the end of the world if he gets released. I'm like, oh shit, they better
that
stop
is a
it.
big deal.
Yeah. and then I guess it was like his father spirit was in his body, and he like stopped him from releasing it all the way. And was like, oh, well.
Look at that, solved stuff.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't back up. He's like, did you know about that? He's like, no one knew about that. I'm like, oh, well.
That's a good twist.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Guess that show ain't that terrible. I mean, I played the video game before, and it was pretty good. So, what did you think of the fight after you watched it? Did you think that she was going to win? Toph was going to win?
Easily.
Yeah. I know a little bit about Toph, especially after that whole Korra thing. I had to do research, and Toph just kept coming up.
Well, you have this person who's like a master of anything Earth, fighting a guy who encases himself in Earth. Like, there's no way he was going to walk away.
The reason when I was doing the research on Korra, the thing that popped up was like that older lady Toph, and I was like, oh, I wonder if any of the other characters showed up in Korra, and I guess a few of them did.
Zuko and Katara did.
Yeah.
Sokka was dead, I guess, and Aang had already died. So.
Yeah, I know Aang had to have died. Obviously. Yeah,
It'd be weird if he showed up.
Hey, I'm Aang. Hey, you can't be here.
He did technically show up a few times in like spirit form to communicate.
Well, yeah, I
and
figured.
They had like a couple flashbacks and stuff.
So,
I actually would have, as much as I like Legend of Korra, I don't want to get off topic here. I just, well, my brain's on that. I'd like to have seen like the events that happened when they built the city and like as they were growing up. I would love to have watched that show. Nothing against Legend of Korra.
No.
But I wanted to see them grow up and watch their adventures continue.
I guess that would have been really cool. That is kind of happening in the comic books.
I haven't read any of the comic books.
I know you haven't, but I've heard good things about the comic books, so that's basically what you're saying right there?
Like, the only ones I read were, what was it? It was like...
From what I understand, I could be wrong, I think a lot of the comic books take place, like, after...
Yeah, like, they take place after the show
and
stuff, like, between that and Korra.
Yeah.
And I didn't read it, but I watched, like, on YouTube, they had, like, a 4-part thing, where, like, they show you everything. Like, the one where you find Zuko's mom.
Yeah, then that book.
Yeah.
Book that came out, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is that history. I mean, obviously, they knew...
It's there.
Yeah, they knew about what they were writing about. They wasn't just making... And she became a cop of Iron Police.
They have a whole backstory, but I want to watch, like, the animated
You wanted
series.
animated?
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably gonna happen.
I wanted to watch that show. I think that would be really cool.
I knew that, like, when I heard... Because I didn't even know she was blind.
Oh, yeah.
And that took, like, I want to watch Nostalgia Critic and stuff like that and stuff. Him talking about, because he did a lot of stuff on Avatar, too. And I was like, I remember, like, the first time they're like, oh, she was blind. I'm like, she was blind? She didn't act like she was blind. And then, obviously she didn't act like she was blind, but she could see better than people who could see.
Yeah.
And with that knowledge, especially because I watched that thing about Korra and her Toph when she was trained her when she was older, and she was still more powerful than the Avatar. And she was like talking about like she could see people in the city. I was like, well, fuck, that dude's fucked.
Toph is a badass.
I was like, that dude is fucked. It was eventually when she actually could metal bend, and no one could do that before her.
Yeah.
That is like, yeah, she's probably gonna win this fight.
She was a badass, like hardcore badass.
Yeah.
Don't.
So it was like when the death battle came up, and we were like, well, I'm just gonna watch this guy get his ass kicked.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he totally
He put up a good fight.
He put up a good fight for
like nothing against him. But it was clear who was gonna win.
Yeah, she was like.
There was no way he's gonna walk away from this.
Well, I didn't even know he did that stupid shit where he put up like a
sand armor thing.
Sand armor. I didn't even know he did that. And when they said that he did that, I'm like, oh, he's fucked.
Yeah.
He's totally fucked. She's gonna fucking ragdoll his ass around like a puppet. Like he's totally fucked. Iron Mason and that shit. I was like, he is totally fucking screwed at this point. So yeah, I didn't know if you watched that. I was like some other shit. Can't think of it all. I remember at one point I was like, during the week, I was like, oh, that'd be a good thing to talk about on the podcast. I should probably write that down.
And you didn't write it.
I didn't write it down, and I've been like,
oh damn it.
Ever since then, I'm like, I should start writing topics down for the podcast. Not necessarily like in detail, just like a word, and I can be like,
yeah.
Did you hear about this? Yeah, I did. What's your opinions on it? So,
I've actually I've had a few people who I've been talking with our podcast, and they are always amazed that we go for an hour and a half, like every time, pretty much, like an hour and 20 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes.
Who were watching the podcast? The views was way really low.
I know. Most of the time, it's because they see how long it is, and like there's like, how do you guys go for so long? And it's like normally we forget how long we go until I look up the clock and realize it's like 1:45, 2 in the morning, and I'm like, I want to go to bed now.
Yeah, it's normally the end of the podcast.
Yeah, it's when one of us is like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
So we could narrow it down or shorten it.
We talked about that before.
Yeah. But like Carl, that was yesterday actually I was talking about that.
Oh, okay.
Like, I would love to sit there and listen to you guys' podcast, but I have to listen to it on my phone. My phone doesn't have enough battery life to make it through your whole podcast.
That's bullshit.
Because he has to be online the entire time.
Oh, it's
and an hour and a half.
Oh.
Will like kill his phone, and it's like, sorry, we just we go and then
It's really for like sitting at home playing the computer and
it's white noise.
yeah, we do something else.
Yeah.
And you hear something and go and then you have to like rewind a little bit and see what the fuck led up to that.
Yeah.
You might have to pay attention sometimes, not all the time. There is a test at the end of the year.
I'm gonna fail it.
Yeah, I'm gonna fail it too. But there's always a test.
I'll remember a few things, but
Yeah. What do you mean? Blah 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 blah. Oh well.
what do you mean there was only one Legolas?
That's something I brought up to Brent. Ruby Volume 1 and 2 is on Netflix now, so you can watch seasons 1 and 2 of Ruby on Netflix. Also, all the seasons of Rooster Teeth. Why am I plugging Rooster Teeth stuff when I don't work from? I don't know.
Because you enjoy it.
I enjoy Rooster Teeth, and I figure people would like that information. If there's other stuff that I feel people would enjoy, I'd probably mention it too, but I think Star Wars Episode 7 or 8? 7.
8.
Yeah,
No,
7 was.
7.
Yeah, 7. Just stopped at 6.
I
I feel like it's gonna suck.
I don't even care for it.
Yeah, I don't
really
think it's gonna be good. Everybody's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Yeah, guys, it's,
Like there's.
that's it." Oh, remember,
Go ahead.
there's a new remake again.
Of what? Howard the Duck.
That would, if they did a remake of Howard the Duck at this point, it would probably be not so bad because it wouldn't be a remake as much as it would be
A reboot.
a reboot. But not really a reboot even because Howard the Duck, the movie, the first movie, had really little to nothing to do with the Marvel character. It was just kind of based on him. But if they redid it now, it would be more based on the Marvel character. And if anything, it really wouldn't have to do a Howard the Duck movie. More or less, just stick Howard the Duck in the background of some of the Marvel movies. That would be fucking hilarious to see him like at the airport or just walking by, like Stan Lee cameos, or even Stan Lee and Howard the Duck at the bar. That would be fucking the shit. No, it pissed me off too. It instantly made me mad, especially when I watched the trailer for it. Ooh. Oh. We'll just lead into this. What would you consider to be a horror classic? Even, huh?
Like what do you mean like horror classic? Like
What would you, just a horror classic? What would you consider to be a horror classic?
a classical horror movie for me. Like I like The Thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything with a nice ambiance.
They redid that one too.
Yeah. Well, that was more of a sequel
That's
or prequel, whatever. Like
That's sucked though.
like The Thing, Alien or Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those are
Which
really
they
good.
kind of did.
Silence of the Lambs. Like those are the horror
That's more of a
movies.
psychological thriller than
Yeah, I know,
horror,
but they can be part of the horror genre.
Yeah, they
like
can.
anything that gives you good atmosphere that
Mm-hmm.
makes you that can terrify you
Mm-hmm.
or make you feel like insecure about your
Mhm.
surroundings, like something that can cause you to have fear and not just
Exactly.
you came out of nowhere and like jump scares does not make you a
Would you-
horror movie.
Would you, in your opinion, say that digital effects hold up to the old 80s practical effects? Especially when it comes to remaking something.
Well,
Oh, there it is. It's not something original, because you can always pass it on something original. But
Yeah.
like a remake of something.
not
No.
really, because like if you look back at
See, that's
you
what
look back at The Thing and like those
Right.
practical effects hold up fantastic, and that
They do.
was done in like 1980.
They're gross and they're creepy and they look absolutely real because they are real.
What was it, like 1980?
Even Aliens, the first Alien movie, when they
Yeah.
were just using like
like
cow intestines and
Yeah.
stuff.
it
Oh.
looks gross. It adds that
Yeah.
realness that you're just like,
You almost
you
fucking
you
feel it,
feel
and
it.
smell it. It's gross.
Feel it. You don't want to fuck with it.
Yeah, it's gross.
Well, nowadays we just got like
Digital.
digital squibs and whatever. You're just kind of like,
It doesn't look real.
You don't have any investment in the movie at that point because they're not.
And
doing
honestly,
it for
honestly,
art.
every single time it takes me out of the movie because at that moment when I see that digital splash,
You're like,
I know I'm watching a movie and I'm like,
yeah,
this is a movie.
clearly.
Yeah.
Anyway, why?
Oh, I'm leading to it because I want you to feel the anger as I did.
I'll try.
Given the fact there's been a lot of remakes already,
Yes.
like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. Is there any other like classic horror movies that you would put that hasn't been remade yet?
That hasn't been remade?
Yeah. Obviously,
Well,
Chad doesn't really get on the internet that much, and when he does, he doesn't notice anything.
I really don't.
He doesn't.
I used to get online a lot.
It's worse when he's drunk, because then he just goes on rants.
We already covered this.
I know.
Well, like, I don't know. Like,
What about ghost movies?
I don't know, ghost movies. Like, I don't watch a lot of.
You don't watch a lot of ghost movies?
Not really. Like, I don't like I don't know, Casper.
Well, that was in the 90s.
Yeah. I don't know, like they remade Frankenstein numerous times. They remade
Yeah, they did a few
Wolfman.
times.
They
They
remade.
did it once.
Oh, I don't know. You can count.
Well, apparently, I didn't even know this, but we can actually exploit this too. Dracula is in public domain. Yeah. If you don't know what public domain is
anyone can.
anybody can use it. No one owns Dracula. So now, granted, if you're trying to like do something off like the new Dracula Legend movie, that's copyrighted. But we're talking like Bram Stoker's Dracula. If you want to make Bram Stoker's Dracula, you totally can. It's totally in public domain. Like nobody owns that. Nobody owns King Kong even. Yeah, there was a big lawsuit about that. Cause what was it?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of the name. Hold on.
The
Universal.
Swamp Monster?
Universal was trying to sue Nintendo for Donkey Kong because they were coming out with a King Kong movie, and it got all the way to court. And the judge ruled. He basically asked, "Is like, do you guys own the copyright to King Kong?" And they're like, "Don't we?" And then they looked into it, and they're like, "No one owns the rights to King Kong." Like, oh. Get the fuck out of our court! Well, no, Nintendo was suing them back for like false suing.
Yeah, as you
so
said.
they fucking got shit ton of money for that. It's probably why we have a Super Nintendo these days, or Nintendo, because it was Donkey Kong arcade that they were suing over, not the.
Are they like remaking like the Swamp Thing or like the Blob?
No, it's a ghost movie.
Ghost movie. I don't know a lot of.
They did remake the Blob once in the 80s. From the 50s. Now actually was pretty decent. I mean, that was like the best time to remake something. No, they remade Poltergeist.
Like just now. You know, actually, I saw a little screenshot of it where it was like
You
they
did.
had hands on all the TVs.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I glanced at it. I was like,
Yeah.
I really.
It looks horrible.
They got a trailer out?
Oh yeah.
I don't want to watch it.
You don't.
Well, they've redone like
totally don't.
they've redone like The Conjuring and stuff like that numerous times. So it's like
But it's not necessary.
I'm almost like
We
desensitized.
don't need remakes of old stuff.
No, we don't. But we're almost like desensitized to it now. It's like,
I'm
oh,
not.
it's another okay, 90% of people are kind of
I
like,
hope they
oh,
lose
another
all-
remake. Okay, fine, whatever.
I hope they lose all their fucking money on this one. Because I'm getting to the point now. It's like I get what they're trying to do. It's a name. People recognize the name. They're gonna go see it. I hope people are smart enough to go, no, I don't want to see this. I just want them to make something new.
Well, they did that with that movie. Channing Tatum, Miley Kunis just came. Jupiter Ascending just came out this last Friday, whatever, and
That looked like shit.
yeah, and it bombed. Like they premiered it like Sundance or like
It's
that,
like-
and everyone fucking hated it. And then like
That's what the thing is. They don't want to risk. When they make that argument every time we make something new, nobody likes it and they don't go see it. It's because you guys don't spend the fucking money on it. You get Shaden Tatum and
Miley Kunis.
Miley Kunis to be in a big budget fucking, not even a big budget movie, but
They had some budget.
they had some budget obviously, but you get those guys. I'm sorry, Shaden Tatum ain't that great of an actor. I'm sorry, ladies. Sorry.
He's not horrible,
He's not horrible,
but I'd rather have Ryan Gosling in there. And not just I think he's a prettier man than Channing Tatum.
somebody who can actually
Act.
act a little bit better. Because obviously Shaden Tatum, yes, he's got a great six-pack of abs, and he's got
And
a great...
he has a good set of roles he can be in, but he's not versatile.
He can dance,
And he can.
He's a pretty thing.
He can do some comedy too. That's about it.
Sorry, ladies. I know. Hey, it's on par. Like, yeah, you guys probably like your little sex toys you keep in your sock drawer, but you're not going to set it on the counter and show everybody like, oh, this really hits the G spot really well. No, you're not going to do that. That's what Shayden Tatum is. He is your sex toy. He's not that appealing to, you know, he does it for you. But not everybody, he doesn't need to be on the dresser. He doesn't need to be in the living room on the coffee table. Can't act.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, do something new, but do something new right. Like, put some
effort into it.
Put some effort into it.
Don't just go through the motions. Especially since, like, they clearly had no aspirations for this movie since they released it in February.
Which one?
Jupiter's Ending.
Oh, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, like, God, clearly.
Like,
clearly they didn't.
It's the same thing with, like, The Seventh Son. I kind of want to see that. But
oh.
Only because I don't think it's going to be that great. But I think it'd be just a fun movie to sit through. Like, it might just be, like, a fun movie.
It might be.
I'm not expecting a lot going into it. But
it still irritates me. It's like a little bit more effort, a little bit more caring. That movie probably could have been badass.
Jupiter Ascending or The Seventh Son?
Seventh Son.
Yeah, probably.
Even Jupiter Ascending probably could have been badass. The concept's
pretty decent.
Yeah, if you were picking that up in a bookstore, you probably
I'd read it.
Oh yeah,
easily.
But when it's like put forth, it's kind of like Aragorn.
Yeah.
The movie with the dragon. Everybody says that book was great.
Yeah, the book series is awesome.
The movie fucking sucks.
So did the video game.
That goes without saying.
Yeah.
All movie tie-in games are pretty bad. But I mean, I was kind of like, "Is this what you guys are talking about?" And they're like, "No."
It gets me to the point where like, I love books. I love to read.
I know you do.
And I love book series. Mm-hmm. And I'm reading these, like, I can see them in my head being a movie.
Yeah.
But then I get fucking terrified.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be what it's supposed to be.
No.
And it makes me, like, as much as you have a template per fucking movie on what it's right there in the book. You just take it from your words and you just film it. It's all you gotta do. And they fuck with it and change it. I don't want my books to be turned into movies.
That's like what the fuck was that goddamn movie? That's not helping. The one
what was it about?
Freddie Prinze Jr. and they're in space. Something Wing Commander. That's it. Wing Commander was a book series. It was an FMV video game. FMV video game is like when they first started doing like live action video in the game.
That was a fun game too.
Yeah, and that was like a really good FMV part too to watch because they had fucking Mark Hamill and they had Biff from Back to the Future in it, and it was well acted. They had some other big names I can't remember off the top of my head, and it was really good. Make the movie. Horrible. And it was just. I mean, I don't know how many people watch that, but like if you watch Spoonie Experience, he did a review on that movie, and he was absolutely correct when he said that the script was so easy he could have wrote it like in a day because it was all lined out for him. Everything you'd have to just change a few things and boom, movie.
Yeah, but no, you have to change 90% of it. Give it to high name people. That pisses me off too when
Hollywood insults people by dumbing shit down because they don't think you're gonna fucking understand it. You know what? Maybe they shouldn't have to understand. If they don't understand it, maybe they should go and try to understand it.
There are a few exceptions to
There
it.
is a few exceptions.
With the Hobbit movies and with the Lord of the Rings movies. Like, they're not bad. Like, the Harry Potter movies.
They really didn't dumb those down, though.
No. That's what I mean. Like, there are exceptions to
what
they do. Like, you can have good book-to-movie translations.
Oh, you can.
They're just very few and far between. Like,
it really just depends on who's involved, and that's the thing people need to start paying attention to, is who's attached to these shit. I mean, if you're like, oh, they're going to make a live-action Ninja Turtle movie? The moment you see Michael Bay's name attached to it, get the fuck out. You go, no, that's not cool.
And it still made money.
Not enough. Didn't make back nearly what they expected to make it. Especially when they stopped production. halfway through. Oh, it pisses me off. That Poltergeist trailer is horrible. Horrible. I was so fucking mad.
I don't know why you do that to yourself.
Why?
You just
what things?
Like you know you can see it and you hear it and you just
well, you know,
you still it's gonna be bad, but you still have to watch it.
This one tricked me because I just saw a trailer for something and I was like, oh, cool, new trailer, and I started watching it and I was like, huh, this kind of looks like Poltergeist. Like it was like little elements reminding me of Poltergeist, and I'm like, huh, and I was like,
wait,
they wouldn't have remade Poltergeist. That's a fucking classic. That's like remaking Indiana Jones or something. And then it like slow. I was like, they remade fucking Poltergeist. So I watched that. I actually watched it and I looked at the name. Like I looked down as I was watching it. I'm like, oh, you fucking assholes. Fucking. And then I went on total angry troll rant. I really did. I even went to, you know, Sam Rockwell?
Yeah.
He plays the dad in that movie. And I emailed him and I said, Sam Rockwell,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
You're a good actor. I liked you in things. Hell, I even liked you in Iron Man 2. You're better than this. Why did you do this? You knew this was a fucking cash-in. So why did you? And I totally sent that to him. I don't know if you'll ever read it, but
you get a response back.
If I get a response back, I'll be fucking shocked.
I'm gonna post it.
I have gotten responses back from some people before and shit like that. I emailed like 20th Century Fox was the one that did it. I emailed them. I emailed so many people. I was like so angry. I'm like, why the fuck did you do this? Why? It was totally unnecessary. If anything, you could have saved so much money by just making like a 20th anniversary box set or something, or just some kind of box set, re-releasing it or something. Re-release it in theaters.
They did it with Ghostbusters.
Yeah, they did that for the thing.
Yeah.
That's my whole point too. Like, these are the things you can't get excited about. Like, a third Ghostbusters movie now,
I don't care.
it's not going to be that good. Absolutely not. You should not want that, because they're not going to use it. They're not going to use the same kind of special effects. They're going to use digital special effects. It's going to look weird.
Yeah.
And out of place, and you can't watch it in order, because then it's going to like skip to this whole other kind of setting, and it's going to be like, what? Why do they look all different? Why are the proton packs blue? Why are the nacelles in the Enterprise blue? Fucking JJ. So many wrong things. That's why I want to make movies so bad. But then at the same time, I feel like I'm going to get shut down a lot. Like, you can't do that, Jason. You can't hire a team of puppeteers to puppet your little alien guys. It costs way too much money.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. It looks better.
Yeah. I'll take a fucking pay cut. And then when I make money, fuck off.
Yeah.
I would be the brokest director.
I know, I would be too.
Because I'd like, all the money I make would be what we get for profit-wise.
It's like good movies get like so downplayed, like the whole Dread movie. So good.
The one with Carl Urban.
Yeah.
Made.
Oh, it was so good. It was so close to the comic books. It was close to the comic books you're gonna get.
Didn't he leave his helmet on the entire time?
He left his helmet on the entire time. It was actually in his contract that he had to keep it on. No, it was in his contract.
That he refused to take it off?
No, it was in his contract that every time he came on the set, he had to have the helmet on. So he wasn't allowed on the set without his helmet on.
I like that.
It was awesome.
We need more.
He had totally agreed to that. He's like, I'm not taking it off anyway. So where's my name go?
I'm fucking Dread.
Yeah, he was fucking Dread in that movie, dude. I don't know if you ever saw that one yet.
I've seen many reviews and trailers on it, and I've wanted to see it.
You can borrow it.
I think it's on Netflix, actually.
I think it is
right
on Netflix.
Now.
And it's like,
my problem is that they like take time.
That's the movie. Like, that was the one I was watching in the theater, and I knew they didn't have a lot of money. They didn't spend a lot of money making it, and you kind of tell when you're watching it because you could see where they're cutting the corners. But it was okay because you could tell.
They cared about it.
Yeah, it wasn't like corner cutting in the fact that I could see the set guys in the background. It was corner cuttings like this whole thing takes place in a building, Like there's not that many external shots. The effects they used very sparingly. That's what I'm saying. Like you could tell, like they were cutting corners in those aspects, but it didn't matter because it was really good. It held together. And it was one of those movies. It's like, oh my god, if they make a sequel of this, it's gonna be 10 times better because they're gonna get a little bit more money and they'll be able to expand a little bit more out and they'll be able to do something else. And it's like, everything was right, and it just didn't do well. And I'm like, how is this not doing well? This is like the best thing out right now.
That's because people bitch about wanting good movies and people who are committed to it and people who care about it, and they don't go see it.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough.
Well, I heard a lot of people.
Not big names to
Yeah,
it.
I heard a lot of. Well, yeah.
Like that's
Carl.
That's
how do you say his name? Carl
Urban.
Carl Urban. He's a good actor.
Played Bones.
Yeah.
That brought to my mind when you said Star Trek because he played Bones in that.
He played Bones.
Yeah.
So like the thing about Star Trek is like the only thing I really like about that movie is like the cast.
Yeah, it's a really good cast.
It was a good cast. They did a great job.
Like Zachary Quinto as Spock, that was perfect. I love the
except for like the little stupid shit.
Or like the super emotional outbursts and shit.
Unnecessarily emotional outbursts.
Yeah.
Like my planet just blew up. My mom just died, but Kirk died. No. Do you ever notice that? The first movie, his planet blew up, and
he was very together.
He was pretty together about that, wasn't he?
He watched his mom die right in front of him.
Kirk died. I'm gonna go beat a motherfucker up. Where's Khan? Beat me down there. Chase him to the city and I'll beat him with a fucking pipe.
That second movie was horrible.
He was.
I've had people tell me I need to rewatch it because it's like, oh, you just need to watch it again. It's really good, and
no,
I can't.
I've never even opened one.
It's on Netflix, and every time I pass it, I'll hit it, and when it's like 99% loading, I unwatch it. Like I can't do it because it was so bad the first time. Like, I liked the first one where they.
Well, you know what the problem was with that. Is it keeps reminding me of Wrath of Khan. I'm like, I would just rather go watch Wrath of Khan.
Right?
Yeah.
What makes me mad about that one is the entire time they're doing production, like, it's not going to be Wrath of Khan. It's not. They kept saying it's not going to be Wrath of Khan. And it was.
Anne Hathaway's not playing Catwoman. Anne Hathaway's not playing Catwoman. Anne Hathaway's not.
Anne Hathaway.
Clearly, she's playing Catwoman. Yeah. What's her face isn't playing. I can't remember. Ra's al Ghul's daughter's name.
Talia?
Talia, yeah. She's not Talia. She's totally
Talia.
She's totally Talia. God fucking damn it. You can't keep secrets like that like you used to. And if you do a fucking better job keeping a goddamn secret. Who cares?
Or at least get in front of it. Like
the best one was like, what's his face isn't Robin. What's his face isn't Robin. What's his face isn't Robin.
I got this.
Josh?
God damn it. And Looper, Don John.
Yeah. Don John. Yeah.
That's actually a pretty good movie. Like it's not bad. It's really cheap.
It's probably not bad. He did the whole thing, so yeah. I'm not saying it would be.
He wrote and directed and started.
Yeah, he wrote and directed it.
It's really good. I watched it as a whim on Netflix one night, and I was pleasantly surprised by it.
It was the premise. I don't think it was interesting.
Jonathan? No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we can't remember your name. Yeah. Like he's watching or listening right now.
Maybe it'll be nice enough to put a picture up and his name all around it, like.
Well, we'll see. I did do stuff last time.
You did do stuff last time. That was pretty funny. I laughed at that.
Yeah. I didn't know. I found more things from the Facebook thing than I thought there was.
Oh yeah.
But you didn't tell me about those things.
I might not have known about them, because the only thing I really knew about was like stuff that was directly affecting me.
There was a thing on the Robert one, and then there was one where we had like the 60-something comments.
Yeah, that was the Robert one.
No, that was a different one. The Robert one was only like 10 or 12 comments between you and me. There was one post where it was me, and then it was just you and me back and forth. And like, it was weird, because it started off like really nice, and then I'm yelling at you, and then I want to see if you want to do a podcast, and then I'm yelling at you again. And then you're like, what are you talking about? And I'm telling you, like, shit. And then you put, like, kitty pictures up.
I did. I remember doing that.
And then, like, Hargis...
And then you kind of got mad about that.
Yeah. And then Hargis was like, he said something, and that was.
How dare you put up kitty pictures?
Yeah, it was done. Then I found like other things.
That was a cat. That was a puppy cat.
Something. I don't know. I don't remember doing that.
It was like an indie show. Not an indie show. It's like a independent cartoon company who makes stuff on YouTube. They're all really, really good. And Puppy Cat's like the newest one. It's really good. If you like weird cartoons. I do like weird cartoons, so if you want to check that out, check out Puppy Cat. Puppy Cat's pretty good.
Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts.
What's his name?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
Cause it just does. Just does. Like I can let things go, but I know his name.
Well, what's the kid's name from Third Rock from the Sun?
His name was Tommy in that.
What's the actor's name?
I don't know, but it's the same guy.
Oh, it is.
It is, yeah.
Long hair back then.
Yeah, he is shorter.
Yeah.
I'm not. Alright, we gotta move on.
I blew someone's mind the other day, because like a coworker of mine was saying how much he loved Back to the Future. And I'm like, oh, you like Back to the Future? He just opened up some stupid floodgates, because he had no idea how much
you knew about
I know about movies and stuff like that, and I made him feel like he wasn't a fan of Back to the Future at the end of the conversation.
You have that effect on people.
I do. And I was like, hey, do you remember Elijah Wood in Back to the Future 2? And he was like, he was a little kid at the arcade machine. And he was like, oh, that's like a baby's toy. You have to use your hands? Because it was like Wild Gunman. And he goes, was that Elijah Wood? And I'm like, yeah. It's like one of his first movies. He's like, I didn't know.
I didn't know that either.
And then
I know more than the.
And then his wife came in, and he's like, "Who's Elijah Wood?" And I was like, "Lord of the Rings," and she's like, "I didn't like those movies." And I was like,
fuck out.
I was like, well, I got this. I can think of a movie that this middle-aged woman might have seen. Did you ever see Forever Young with Mel Gibson? She's like, yes, I love that movie. It's like the kid in that movie was Elijah Wood. Oh. How do you know that? Because I read the credits at the end of the movie. And I follow actors that I like. What?
I'm just listening.
Oh.
You're
look at him, you're like glaring at him, you're like...
No. I understand what the guy's coming from, though.
Oh.
Like, because I know more about like movies and shit than the average individual.
Yeah, I would say that.
But even when I talk to Jason, I feel fucking stupid. Like I'm overshadowed in everything. I was like, I know this. And you're like, did you also know this? Damn it, Jason, I had it.
There was some stuff that you said, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's like one for every like 100 things you tell me.
Yeah, I know.
Like the scales are heavily unbalanced in your favor.
I know. I'll even follow like costume designers.
I'm
like, oh wow, I like that costume designer, and I'll like follow them.
See, for the average person,
yeah.
As soon as the credit starts, movie's over. For Jason, when the lights come on and the screen goes black, then the movie's over.
Not actually anymore. Sometimes I don't do that anymore because
you know it.
I've researched it so bad, and I'm like, I already know who's all these people.
We did that for the last Hobbit movie. I don't think you stayed for like more than a minute into the credits, and we got up and left.
Yeah, I just wanted to see the artwork. When artwork was up, I already knew everybody who worked on that movie.
Yeah.
A lot of it was the same people who worked on the other 3 Lord of the Rings movies. But they did have some new people that came in. Some of them were pretty cool. They had like airplane spotters. Did you know that? The studio was built stupidly, like really close to an airport. So in certain scenes, obviously because of sound, they have to. They don't want an airplane going overhead because the landing strip's so close that it's actually low enough to like just fuck up all the audio. So they have to go. They had like 2 guys in a car on top of a hill with a walkie-talkie. And like, plane's coming in. Plane's taking off. 5 minutes. They got like 5 minutes if they're outside shooting. I'm sure they're in the credits that way. Plane spotters. What are you talking about? That would suck. That would be an awesome job. I'm like,
it would suck for like production.
Oh, it would suck horribly for production.
You could be like in the middle of like a fucking scene, and they're like, "Plane's taking off. Cut! Stop!
It's the last thing you want to have your studio next to is an airport or a train track or anything that just makes a lot of loud noises.
I'm like right next to a train track.
We are living. Well, we're not filming a movie though, so it's not that.
I know, but like this mic picks up the rumbles.
I know it does. I've heard it in things before. I'm like, oh, there's a train going by. Yeah, there's a train going by now, actually.
Yeah.
When you live next to a train, you don't even hear it anymore.
Well, you live even farther away from the train tracks than I do, but
yeah.
we still picked them up. Like,
Oh, I know. We picked them up on the camera. Even.
I know. Like it's unless we live like up in the very top of the hills.
I still think
it'd be faint at
it'd
best.
be very faint. You probably hear the whistle.
We hear the whistle unless we're like in like a soundproof room or some shit.
But that's less. It's like I don't even know why they might have just did it because it was probably save money. This is a good location because who wants to live next to an airport?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, oh my god, that's gonna suck so bad. Yeah, we're thinking about moving the film studio.
Oh, we're
8 miles out in the country. Good idea.
Get away from the planes.
Yeah, get away from the planes.
I am totally on board for that.
But someone loses a job. The plane spotter.
Or they just get repurposed.
Well, I think they were actually repurposed because the way they were talking, like, that wasn't their actual job. They just got recruited to do it that day.
Like pulling.
But I'd totally be cool with them. Be like, plane coming in 5 minutes.
Just sit there.
Just sit there all day and watch planes.
I'd be alright with that.
I'd be okay with that. It's probably decent money.
Sit around and eat sandwiches all day.
Yeah. Bag of Cheetos.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to go home and you're like, what do you do for a living? I worked on the Lord of the Rings movie. Because I wouldn't say what I worked on in the Lord of the Rings movie, but...
But you know you have the guy and be like, oh cool, what'd you do in the Lord of the Rings movie?
Stuff.
Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, right. I
don't think did you make the armor?
I think I would grill somebody on something like that, but I don't think the average person would grill somebody on something like that.
Yeah, I would be like, oh, that's
wow, that's awesome. Did you meet Elijah Wood? Fuck yeah, I did. Here's a picture on my phone.
He's pretty cool. He's way taller in person than I thought he was.
There was like this asshole one time who doing like the fibbing thing. I don't know if you ever met people like that where they just over exaggerate.
They always have to like.
Yeah, and this guy came up to me and my girlfriend at the time, and because they hadn't seen him in a long time. They're like, what have you been up to? And he's like, I was down in New Zealand and I was working on a Lord of the Rings movie. I'm like, what were you doing there? I grilled him like, no you didn't. No you didn't. I know where you're getting your information from because that's where I got my information from. You mean on the DVD commentary? I watched that too. You're fucking lying, dude. Why would you even lie about that? like this whole story about like him hanging out with like Orlando Bloom and shit, and like, oh, you didn't. You ever met anybody like that?
Not like that.
That I have. I've met a few people.
I know people who embellish on the stories, like just.
Well, I
think for no reason too. Like a story could be like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Well, I think
you add it like just that little extra. Like, no.
I think he was just embellishing at first, but I got him into lying because his embellishing was, I worked on the Lord of the Rings movie, and then I went, how, where, blah, and I started drilling him, and then he just because he already embellished, he was already trapped. He just started lying about like, where did you film it at? Oh, like in Hollywood. Well, in Hollywood, like in New Zealand, because that's where they filmed those movies. Oh, yeah, well...
You know...
Yay!
This is what we call it on the set. This is our Hollywood.
You left the country? How'd you get your passport?
Passport?
Passport. Yeah.
It's so full of shit.
Never been to New Zealand in your fucking life. You've never been out of the country, I bet.
Shut up, Jason. Let me have this one. Nope.
No.
You
can't have that. That's a
big deal.
Just be
honest about things, man.
Yeah, that's a bullshit.
No,
I mean, I could embellish a story too, like how I fell down and I flipped up and I was like, But you know what? That's not. I would almost believe that one over anything else because it always seems like you almost do cool shit when no one's looking.
Yeah.
You always do cool shit. Like I'll make every 3-throw shot into the trash can from across the room. I can bank it off every fucking wall, and it'll like spin in the air and drop in the trash can. Yeah, the moment someone comes in there, I throw like a little girl, like out of my hand right to the ground. So when someone says like I came out of the bathtub, I slipped and I did a whole backflip, and I was like, "Ooh, I was okay," I'd be like, "That might be true."
Yeah.
That might have actually happened. I don't know.
I went sledding the other day. I got right after the snow here fell and shit.
Yeah.
And my first run down the hill was down there at Primer and had this ginormous snowdrift. And I went fucking flying down this hill. Like, it was awesome until I hit the snowdrift and the sled got stuck and it propelled me over the snowdrift.
Oh, yeah?
And I landed like fucking spread eagle style. I was like, oh. It kind of hurt because it was like all ice on the other side. But because like other people were there, you can't like lay there and be like, oh, I'm hurt. So you gotta pop up like, I'm okay. You're never okay.
Actually, no. One time, well, of course nobody was there, but I used to live by the cemetery. I know nobody knows what I'm talking about. I used to live by the cemetery, which is like a big hill in town, and I used to walk up that thing to go to my girlfriend's house, and back down. If to tell Tad, so he knows what I'm talking about. I lived over by 6th Street. And she lived over on 3rd Street. So cut through the cemetery was the...
That's easy.
Yeah, the easiest way. I was coming home one night, and it must have been December, because there was snow everywhere. It could have been April, because it never snows when it's supposed to. But I was coming down the hill, and I slipped forward, and I cartwheeled down the hill, and I popped back up on my feet, and I was like, whoa! And I was like, oh, that probably looked fucking badass. Nobody was there. Just me and a bunch of dead guys.
Oh, they might have seen it.
Yeah, I might have seen it. If you believe in that stuff. But yeah.
my last run of sledding.
It wasn't sledding.
I know you said it, but like the last run I had going down the hill. It was my last run because you see those videos where like you see people go down the mountain and like they make one like they just fuck up a little bit and then it just boom 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 head over heels, just snow everywhere. I did that. I was going down the hill, I got halfway down, and the sled decides to like, take a 90-degree turn, and it doesn't go down very well, and I just went, and snow went up everywhere.
Oh, wow.
I have never had snow on my chest before like that. But again, it's one of those things where people are watching you, you can't not be like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had like scrapes all along my back from it.
I've actually witnessed some pretty bad sled accidents.
It's very dangerous.
When I lived in Omaha, there was like this really super tight hill at this school. And at the bottom was pretty much like, I wouldn't say ditch, but kind of ditched up. So there was like
you hit it, you're going to fly.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then after that was like the basketball courts and everything. So it was concrete shit. These stupid motherfuckers brought a fucking toboggan. I've never seen a toboggan before, other than pictures. And if you don't know what a toboggan is, it's like a long wooden sled.
Yes.
And it was a couple, like a young couple, and all their kids. And they must have had 3 kids. That's not enough to fill a toboggan, but I'll get to that. So I'm sledding down this hill with my friends, and we had like stupid, we were pretty poor, so we were using just cardboard pieces. Because anything will work when you're sledding. Yeah, really. Cardboard gets all shredded and you get another piece of cardboard, you go sledding some more. You wax the bottom of it and you got yourself a pretty nice sled for a while. Until it gets too wet and rips apart. But hey, you're just having fun. It's not biggie. But, so these 2 fuckers had a toboggan and they waxed the bottom of it. Like, they spent a lot of time, like I was going up and down the hill. And every time I come down, they had this thing tipped over, and they're just like sitting there rubbing wax on the bottom of it. I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go sledding." So I get up the hill, and they came up the hill with me, and I remember because I was up on the hill, and I remember them saying, "Does anybody want to ride?" because we got lots of room. And I remember thinking, that sounds like a bad idea. Because all you're doing is put more weight on this thing. And everybody jumped on. So now you had like, what was it, 5 people? With probably 3 more people, if anything. This toboggan was full. I slid down, and they were still at the top of the hill. And I was like, oh, I'm going to wait till they're done, see how this goes out. And they slid down that hill so goddamn fast. It was like fucking Christmas Vacation. And people started flying off halfway because it was going too fast. So every bump, everyone was flying off. Yeah. And they fucking hit that goddamn bump at the center. I heard it break, but then it flew up in the air, and I saw all these people in the air, like, because it wasn't that far away from me, so I could kind of like see silhouettes of people. Like, I had to like jump back a little bit because I thought someone was gonna hit me, and the rest of that toboggan just slid across that concrete, and it was like a war scene. There was just like bodies everywhere, just people like, oh, it was horrible. There was one kid on it who stayed. I don't even know how he stayed. I didn't even know there was a kid in the front. He stayed on it the whole way, even when it flew up in the air and shit. Because I thought it flipped around, but it didn't. I guess it didn't. It landed in the concrete, and then it like slid almost the building. It's like did this whole slide thing, and there was like one kid just crying on there. So I think he hit his head on the front repeatedly, and he just didn't want to let go, and like the bomb like scrambled up and like limped over, and I was like, "Are you okay?" It was horrible. It was the worst sliding accident I've ever seen in my life. It was like obviously before cameras. It would have been hilarious to watch, but tragic at the same time. It was, oh my god.
There's actually right now, I guess there's like it's against the law to sled in like Omaha or some shit, like at schools or something like that.
Oh really? That's stupid.
Because like there's so many like sledding accidents over the last couple of years, where like the city was getting sued for it.
Well, I don't think you should. That's stupid, because if you're sledding, you're kind of taking your own risk at that point. Like, it's like biking.
It's like swimming in a lake with no lifeguard.
Right.
You're taking matters into your own hands.
Yeah.
You can't blame other people.
You can't. I know you got hurt at the skate park, but if you try to do an ollie and you fucked up and you fucking scraped up your leg, that's on you. Yeah, it's on you. You fucked that up.
No one at the skate park who runs it came out of nowhere and just snatched your board out of there. Like,
they were just nice enough to make you a skating park. Doesn't mean they're gonna take blame for shit that you do there. You might be able to pull that shit off in a department store.
Yeah.
Because they're supposed to keep that maintained and maintenance, but if it's something you're not paying for, you're already taking the blame. And I know you can think like skating rings and stuff like that. But they have signs that post at the door saying,
"Skate at your own risk."
Yeah, skate at your own risk. We're not going to take responsibility. You can't sue us for jack shit. That's stupid. Yeah, that's obviously really dumb. And kind of see why they banned it, but at the same time, it's like it should just be implied that if you're gonna sled, you're probably gonna get hurt. You're not necessarily. This isn't something that you're controlling.
No, it's not like you're skiing or snowboarding.
Yeah. There's no control to sledding. You're just aiming the board down the hill. You're hoping you're gonna hit the target. Like, I want to end up in this area over here. Like,
hopefully you can just kind of skid to a stop and not hit a tree or something.
Yeah, exactly. I think I haven't sledded in a long time, but I don't really want to go sledding because I think as an adult, as a child, going that fast.
It's awesome. As an adult, you're like, oh my god.
No, I don't think, oh my god. It's just like...
If I get hurt, yeah.
Not even that. It's like, oh, I could drive that fast. I'd probably drive faster than that anyway. So it's like, it loses its appeal.
I don't think it's... I don't look at it like that. Like,
I kind of do.
Because if you're driving, you're in like the safety of like this giant metal box.
But you're really not.
Yeah, but...
Driving's so dangerous.
It is dangerous. But at the same time, like, it's not like you're not exposed to like all these elements around you where it's like your only protection is able to like put your hands up fast enough. Like with a car, there's safety features.
Some.
Yeah.
A bag is gonna fill up with air and maybe comfort your head.
If it doesn't concuss you.
Well, I get what you're kind of saying. Like, sledding's a little bit more out of control, whereas driving's a little bit more controlled.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're driving on. If you're going mudding, then no.
No, you're being dumb at that point.
You're just being dumb. But I just feel like that was like the thing that was appealing when I was a kid, like going fast. And now it's like, oh, I kind of go fast anyway. Like it's not that.
See, I want to go. I'm not a huge sledding fan.
But,
if I want to go play in the snow, like go down a hill, I want to go snowboarding. Because I haven't been in like years. But that's like
honestly, if I'm going down a hill to go fast, I'd rather just be like going down a water slide or something.
That'd be fun. Like during the winter though, I'm not going down a water slide.
No, I'm not even saying the winter. I'm just saying if I want to go down a hill for any reason to go fast, I think a water slide sounds more fun. It's like snow. Sledding is kind of like cold and it's kind of like a hassle to get back up the hill and like.
That's why I like going snowboarding. Like I haven't been. Like I said, I haven't been in a while, but it's like I've never felt more free. Free, I guess. Like because you can go and do wherever you want. You can take yourself wherever. Like you said, when you're sledding, you have a straight path and it's hard to deviate from that.
Yeah.
When you're snowboarding or skiing, you can go anywhere you want. Like it's liberating almost to an extent.
To a point. I mean, as long as there's hill.
Yeah. Oh.
you can't. I mean, as soon as the hill runs out, you're just like standing there. You're like, what are you doing? You're like, well, I'm living free. But it's like you can go anywhere.
It's the run, is what it is.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Everyone will review it differently. Oh, you're just going down a hill. It's like other people might be looking at it like, oh yeah.
Well, I mean, you can go. I mean, no, I get what you're saying because you can go anywhere down the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. No, I'm just saying like you can't go anywhere because eventually the hill's gonna run out. Like
unless they have snow everywhere and you just hang out in the back of a truck. Which
you can do that.
I've done that before too. I did it. I remember when I was in high school. My friend Timmy and Blake had trucks. And our school got canceled because it was like an ice storm. So we had the idea to go and take his trucks and put it in the parking lot, and we'd hang on to the back, and he'd do cookies, and we'd just spin around the ice, and then he'd get going fast enough, and you'd let go, and you'd slide across the ice. The only thing I find
funny about that is just like a second ago, you just diss mudding. You're like, well, they're just stupid.
Oh, no. I'm not saying it was smart. It was really dumb. And I've done a lot of dumb shit in my life. It's
Well, you'd probably do more
a lot of it's been documented. So,
you probably do more dumb stuff when you're younger than you do when you're older.
That's because you feel like fearless about a lot of shit. Like you don't feel like there's any consequences.
I don't think it's like that. There's some elements of that, but I feel it's like more of a like when you're young, you get this like
I can do
urge.
Anything.
Not even that. It's like this thing about being challenged. You got like this thing to like prove yourself. You're like, oh, you're just a fucking pussy. You can't. Fuck you. I'll fucking jump off this roof.
I never had that.
I kind of felt like that before. Like
I never had anyone like really pressure me. I was usually like, oh, I'm gonna do this just because I saw it, and I was like, I want to make that jump.
I wouldn't even say it's pressure. It's just like someone just says you can't, and you're like,
oh, I want to bet.
Fucking will. Fuck you. I can do this.
I still do that though.
Yeah, I know you do. It's pretty funny.
Like I'm very easy to goat.
Yeah, you are.
Goat? Is that how you say it?
It can't always be Magic Cylinder.
Oh, we'll see. It's always Magic Cylinder.
Maybe he's right.
That was 2.5 years ago.
I know, it's still good though.
No, wait, that was 3 years ago.
It's still good.
God damn, time's flown.
It's still good.
Gotta let it go, Jay.
Huh?
Gotta let it go.
I gotta let it go? Let it go. You bring it up sometimes.
You bring it up more often than I do.
I'm not bringing it up.
In the last 6 months, you brought it up way more than I have.
I don't even think I brought it up in 6 months.
Yeah, you did. At least twice. It's not a reoccurring theme, obviously.
It's pretty good though. You don't really gloat about that stuff though.
No. Well, when you fail, you don't ever want to be like.
Like I was telling somebody today, it was like when we did the J versus T show. Wish we should start that back up.
You still have a bunch on your computer that you need to finish up, like the Pokemon ones, the Master Training.
No, we're not gonna. That audio got fucking trashed on that. We just gotta go on from season 2 now.
Yeah, after a year hiatus.
Yeah. I was telling somebody, it was like the first time we played Yu-Gi-Oh! On camera. It was like my whole deck was set up for like a special summon kind of thing. And the first card you put down was make 8 special summon. I was like, shit. well, that sucks. I was like, well, I'm gonna lose the first round, that's for sure.
And then like
second
right
round,
away.
round 2, right away again. And I was like, God
Really?
damn it. And then you're like, really, you can't do anything? I'm like, no, you shut me down like right off the bat.
You did call me on my shit.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was gonna say, I told
forgot about it.
You tried special summoning something. Like, no.
I can't do it.
I can't.
You can't do it. I was like, alright. I attack and I win.
I don't need to do it, motherfucker. I was just trying to do something cool, but fuck you.
Just punch you in the face.
Yeah.
And I win.
Yeah.
I haven't played
That
Yu-Gi-Oh!
sucks. Well, I know this kid at work, he was talking about it. He's like, do you play Yu-Gi-Oh? I'm like, fuck yeah, I play Yu-Gi-Oh! He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah. And I was like, what's your deck? He's like, it's all stall. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So what do you play? I don't know. How many cards you got in your deck? Oh, at least 60 or 70. You don't play Yu-Gi-Oh!
You have cards that you put together.
Yeah. He's like, well, me and my friends, we don't really go off the standard rule setting. Yeah. You don't.
You don't play
He's
Yu-Gi-Oh!
like, yeah, you don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! He's like, do you have any XYZs or synchros?
What?
What are those? The black and white card. Oh, yeah, I've seen those. I don't play them. Yeah, okay, you don't know.
You don't play Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. You do play Yu-Gi-Oh! You're just not,
You have the cards.
You're not playing it right. Oh, I could teach you how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I was like, hey, any deck, I'm like, you know, like that moment when you're like really good at something, and someone's like, oh yeah, I do that too, and you're like, wow, cool, blah blah, and you start talking to them, and they're like, I will destroy you if we play.
Yeah.
I would make you not want to play anymore. I've actually done that too. Mode plays little kids, and they're like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, and I attack you for 3,000. That would kill me. Yeah, I know. What did I do wrong? Your deck is shit. But there's, I don't know, I haven't been following too much on Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, I've almost fallen out of it a little bit, mainly because like
I
don't have time to
play. That's a lot of it.
And like, there's a lot of like new cards coming out that I haven't really been paying attention to, and I have a lot more stuff on my plate. I don't really, I feel like I neglect it almost. Like I haven't done anything with my actual decks in almost a year now.
Well, I know that one card you posted.
The new overlay. It popped up one day, and
I was like, oh, that looks cool. But they haven't really done it. Like I've been kind of keeping up, like kind of following it, and a lot of it's just like me going, oh, that's stupid. Oh, that's really stupid.
Everyone's all excited about like this new elemental hero deck that's coming out or whatever, and I'm like, oh yeah, heroes.
I don't know. Brent's artifact deck really fucking took me out for a little while. That shit was bullshit.
Sad part is, that's not his deck. like he.
Watch what you say, because he watches the podcast.
No, it's not like he has like. It's pretty much his deck is like a standard artifact deck.
Yeah, you don't really have to do much to it.
No, mine's like different than his.
Yeah, it was.
And he's made his deck because I had that deck.
Well, it doesn't matter. They're just bullshit cards in general.
No, I don't play it.
I know. It's just fucking. It's a good deck. It's just cheap as fuck. Yeah.
I don't.
Are you gonna do that? I'm gonna do this. You're gonna do that. I'm gonna do this.
It's a deck you don't have to play. I don't mean like oh, I don't have to play it. I mean you literally just
no. It doesn't.
It plays itself.
The deck's like
it's an automatic.
It's like I'm gonna get a drink, and the deck's like, oh yeah, that's fine.
I got this.
You come back, you sit down, the deck's like, what? Oh no, you know what? You look a little tired. You go lay down. I got this.
Yeah.
And you're like in the other room, like eating a sandwich, like looking over, and your friend in the deck is playing, and you're like, guys, can I
play?
No, you get next round, Tad. We're okay.
Yeah. It doesn't need you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah. You're doing great.
You're gonna win this one. I swear.
Yeah, you're guaranteed to win. That's not even a question. Like, unless you have cards specifically set up to do it, and that's always bullshit anyway. And I hate when that happens. And yeah, it's like that, and the fucking other goddamn Fire Fist deck fucking sucked ass.
Yeah.
I never even
had
had a problem with the fucking mermelds as much as I did the Fire Fist.
No, everyone was always bitching about mermelds.
I know
I never understood it.
Yeah,
because I never had a problem with mermelds. I had issues.
I lost a lot to mermelds.
I never lost a lot to mermelds, but I would lose. I hated spellbooks.
Spellbooks were kind of bullshit.
And that dragon.
But it was kind of slow bullshit. It was like slow in the sense like
they
Nobleman
always,
was slow.
Yeah, but they always had something to do, and they would take forever to do it.
Yeah.
It was they did a lot of nothing is what they did.
Yeah.
And then like eventually you'd just be like, and then they would just do this big thing, and then you'd lose.
Yeah.
Dragon Rulers, it was all this, go.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to them, and they're like still have a full hand with like a full field. It was like, oh, and then I do this, and I win.
I think it's funny though, like me and you did not like find those decks interesting at all. But Brant was like, oh yeah.
I understood why they were like the top decks.
I
get it. But they were bullshit decks.
They were bullshit.
Like right away, like the very next ban list, they were dead.
Well, I was saying that too. I was saying that today too. I was like, I might play dumb, and I'll even admit that, but I like a challenge, and I like my opponent to feel like he has a challenge. And like I walk away from a win, I'm like, yeah,
I won. I earned that.
That was a fucking win. That was a fucking battle.
It wasn't just
like you had really good battles. I can still remember them like. That was fucking awesome. I didn't even care who won. I was like, that was still
it was good. No one ever got angry about it.
I got angry at Brent a couple times, like, especially popped that fucking artifact deck out the first time. I was like, oh, you fucking kidding me? And the first time I was like, all right, yeah, that was a cool deck, blah, blah, blah. Then he played it again. Yeah, and I was like, he's like, oh, it's so slow, but it's fucking effective. I'm like, I know it's effective.
Because there's nothing really to do.
I can't do anything. But it's taking like 15 minutes for you to do something.
Well, it takes them 15 minutes to do anything.
It does, but that deck was horrible. Not really good in Brent's hands. Because it would just take longer, even longer. You like add 15 more minutes to whatever you're doing.
I think...
At least that's what it felt like.
Brent is a good duelist.
Oh, he's a great duelist.
Brent's problem is, and we've said this numerous times, is he overanalyzes everything. Like he wants to see every move that's going to be played out.
Yeah. But he doesn't see the move that's really obviously right. Right, yeah.
And that's the one you need to do. And he's like, well, if I can do this, I can do this. And it takes him 6 minutes to do something.
No, that's not even the bad thing. The bad thing is he doesn't think that's a bad thing. Like, he's like, well, yeah, it takes me a while, but I'm winning.
Until you time out. Like when he first started on Dev Pro, he time out all the time.
He hated that. Stupid time.
Well, why don't you just know you should already know your deck so you know your play is. Like, you'd be like, oh, it might have this, and then you do this. Like, you just know it.
Yeah.
Like,
if something new comes up, you should be able to, like...
Play on the fly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to sit there like, oh, what can I do now? Granted, some people play that way. I get that.
Not nationals or tournaments or anything.
No, they're quick. But
yeah, you don't bring that slow game to the fuck.
You get through three duels in like maybe 7 minutes.
I think the worst thing you want to do, and especially, I feel that way with Brent too. And not that I'm saying he's a bad duelist, but giving your opponent time to think about what he's gonna do hurts your game.
Yeah. Whereas you're taking all that time to think. They also are thinking, and they're like, oh, he's going to do this, and if he does this, then I can do this, and if he does this, then I can do this.
A lot of times, I never told it to Brent, a lot of times the way I beat him is because he's giving me way too much time to think about what the hell I'm going to do next.
Telegraphs.
And I'm just like, I'm just waiting to see what he's going to do, and I already pretty much know what he's going to do. Sometimes he mixes it up a little bit, but so much time has passed that I'm like...
You know.
I'm going to know in the 5 turns what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just stall him out, because... That's always best. Let him get all this like meta shit out. Sometimes he wins like that, but sometimes it's like, well.
You can weather the storm.
Oh yeah, if I can weather the storm, he's fucked. And that's happened so many times. Is like, but it also can be backfiring because then you're kind of like waiting on shit too, and it's like fuck. But I've done that too. He likes to win, and he doesn't care.
I like my odd decks, like my Ojama deck.
That Ojama deck is awesome. I always wanted to see that build.
I had part of it.
I know you did have part of it.
And then I lost. I didn't lose interest in the deck. I just kind of like lost interesting.
I love that deck. It was like one of the decks I used to tell people about. I was like, my friend made a Dom deck. Fucking awesome. Dom deck fucking kick ass.
Yeah.
I like that. That was like the most decks I've ever liked of yours. I didn't even want to play it. I just liked it.
I didn't.
Like if you were like a character in an anime, we're like, he's got that Dom deck. He's gonna fuck people up with that.
It's because they didn't know how to play against it, kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
It's not that it was like a really good deck. It's just no one knows how to fucking battle with Jamos.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It was kind of that way with La Dolces for a while.
Yeah.
They still don't really know how I play it differently than, because people go for the obvious.
Yeah.
Cake.
Well, that's like when I watched the video and the guy's talking about that rank 5 you're getting from Dolces, and like, well, I guess we could play pudding sets in there to pull it out. So there's no real point in even playing this overlay. They're giving it to us, and we have nothing to really play with it. And like, you fucking play pudding sets, but no one wants to play pudding sets. And
this is awesome.
If you play
I've
it
run
right,
so many fucking games of pudding sets.
if you play it right, yeah, but you have to like almost build a deck kind of around pudding sets. It's not like she's like your key component.
No, she's not.
You need her in.
But my deck is kind of centered around pudding sets.
Yeah.
I mean, they got like that half. I got like
the
hoot cakes.
You have other options.
Yeah, I have the
with
hoot,
it.
I have the hoot cake strategy in there, but it's not focused on the hoot cake strategy. But I have the pudding set strategy in there, and it just depends on the situation, like which one I'm going for.
What they did with Medolce, so they did with like every other deck, is they made it into a streamlined field swarm.
Yeah,
deck. That's all. They just found and they did it with every deck.
Yeah.
How can I fill my field up as fast as possible?
Yeah, I know.
Mirror Force.
Raigeki.
Yeah. Dark Hole.
Dark Hole. Well, no, Dark Hole's banned now.
It's banned now?
Yeah.
They banned Dark Hole, but they keep Raigeki.
Yeah. Why?
Why?
Because people doing that field type thing. Like you just said. They're filling their deck.
And they keep fucking Mirror Force at 3.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why these cards are coming off, because people are overplaying other shit. So I guess people are bitching about Dark Hole. I Dark Hole might not be banned again. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've seen it.
I know Heavy Storm was banned.
Heavy Storm was banned.
Yeah, it's still banned, I think.
Heavy Storm was banned.
They got Monster Reborn off for like 1 or 2.
Monster Reborn.
cycles.
At this point, Monster Reborn probably will always be banned, because there's cards that
It's just
you can get cards out.
over and over
Yeah, you
and
can get
over.
cards out anymore. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, that always kind of made me mad, because I felt like that deck could. It plays really good just the way it is. Like, you don't have to.
You have to add in.
No, you don't have to compensate. There's some decks you do have to compensate for. I understand that. And there might be a challenge in not trying to compensate for it, which I would find more appealing, which other people don't. But Medolces doesn't need that shit. That deck is set for itself. Like,
Well, the only stuff I added into my Medolce
I know you. Yeah.
was I had like Max C, and I think I had like 1 Effect Veiler. But I ended up picking the Effect Veilers out to put in like breakthrough skills, because it did the same thing, and I could use it from the grave on my turn, which was even more beneficial. I still got the Max C in there.
Oh yeah, I would put some breaker skills in mine too.
Because, you know,
Yep, that was a good
the
call.
extra draw power really
Mhm.
helps, and I usually drew into like Hoot Cake and
Yeah.
Kitty, so like Kitty, Hoot Cake, get rid of the fucking Max C. And
I
go
never,
from there.
you know, like, I don't know if it was just like my own stubbornness, but the fact that everybody used Hoot Cake that way, it made me not want to use Hoot Cake that way. Like, I can do.
I'm gonna go against the grain.
Yeah, I'm gonna go so against the grain. I've done that so many times, and people have like yelled at me, like on Dev
You
Pro.
should do this.
Like, why didn't you Hoot Cake?
I didn't want to.
I didn't have to.
Don't tell me how to play my cards, damn it! Like,
I won.
I-
Why
I-
are you bitching at me?
I hate it when they do that.
Yeah.
You win the duel and you like destroy them,
Yeah.
and they lecture you. Like, I was playing
You could have won that 3 turns ago.
I was playing that level
Yeah.
1 Monarch deck I built,
Yeah.
and I destroyed like people all the time with it.
Yeah.
And they would like message me afterwards, like, well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this? Because I beat you. Why did I need to do that?
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Well, if you do this and you have this card in there, it'll work better. I beat you.
Yeah.
Why is it when you lose you think you have the right now to tell me how to do?
See, like, people
my
who
stuff?
don't play Yu-Gi-Oh may be kind of confused by this conversation right now.
Sorry.
It's on like the equivalent on par or the equivalent of someone you shot somebody with a gun and they're laying there bleeding out and they look at the bullet hole and they're like, why did you use like a 20 gauge? Like, why did you use like a 30 gauge?
Why did you use a 22?
It would have just went right through me.
God, you knew. Is this your first time shooting somebody?
Yeah,
God.
You're dying.
Like, clearly...
I know I'm dying, but I could have been dead quicker.
God, you're being dumb now.
Oh, you're gonna shoot me again?
This is your first time playing.
Jesus.
Such a fucking
Such a noob.
You're a noob or you're a net decker.
Yeah.
I hated.
No, I've never heard of net decker.
It's where like you like they have like a very popular deck out and.
Oh, okay.
And
well, then I didn't know what it was called. But
yeah. It's called net decking, and I used to get mad because I'd just be on like DevPro and I'd see cards like, oh, this is really cool, and make a deck out of it, not knowing that a lot of people like that deck as an actual deck, and I made mine.
Did you do that? I didn't even know she did that.
I did that for the Shadow deck. I built the Shadow deck, and I was playing it, and then like 2 weeks later, I started seeing videos about these fucking Shadows, and I still was playing that deck, and everyone was calling me like a noob and a net decker, and I don't know how to build my own deck. And I was like, I was playing this before everybody was talking about it. Like,
yeah.
Like every card I play, like Needle Sealing, I was playing Needle Sealing like back when, and I loved it.
Yeah.
No one to play it. Like 6 months later,
I felt that
it's
way.
in every fucking deck.
Yeah, I felt that way about Ordeal the Traveler. It's like when that card came out, like a long time ago. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I bet I can use it for blah, blah, blah. And I started playing it
and then
at tournaments, and nobody was playing it. And then like next time I went to the tournament, everybody was playing fucking Ordeal. Ordeal the Traveler became a fucking big ass fucking card. And then I got yelled at, like, oh, blah, 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 Ordeal the Traveler. I'm like, I was playing Ordeal the Traveler before everybody else was.
Same thing with like a compulse activation device or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you guys were playing like synchros and shit. And I was trying to think of ways to get fucking. My whole thing was getting Stardust out.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of stuff that people.
And then like 6 months later, everyone has Needle Sealing. Everyone has fucking compulse.
Which was, I don't know if you ever noticed that, but like sometimes you'd be like, hey, you should probably put this in your deck, and I'm like, yeah.
I said that about Honest.
I thought about it for like a long time. It wasn't like I never objected to it. It was like, eh. And I would think about it and I'm like, yeah, that probably would be pretty good. And then I get around to it and then you're like, oh, about time you fucking started listening to me. I'm like, I just honestly was thinking about it. I never said it was a bad idea. It just was like, eh.
Well, I said that with the for your Medulce deck, the XM Saber Invoker or whatever, the rank 3 overlay. You detach and get like a level 4 warrior or beast warrior out on the field.
Oh yeah.
I remember saying something to you about that. You're like, it's not Medulce. And then like we were playing on Dev Pro and you pulled it out and I was like, hey, what's this?
Like that was a good idea.
Like what? you just played it off like I was gonna do this. Like,
no, I just had it. Like,
that's not a Medulce. That's.
Because it wasn't like I dismissed it. It just I wanted to see how it worked out in my own head. Like it wasn't like it was a bad idea. It was just like, oh, I'll give it a look. Like I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. And then I check it out and I'm like, oh yeah, that would probably work out pretty good. You're just not there for that part.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like going, nah. But yeah, I didn't want to put it in because I still had objections and I was like, that was a Monty Python.
See, yours were like legit though, like thinking about it. Like you told, I had a fairy deck when I first started. Yeah. And I took Honest out. You're like, you want to put Honest in there? No, I don't fucking need Honest. Yeah. I was so wrong. Yeah. You can have a fairy deck without Honest.
You can have a fairy deck. Yeah.
It's just way better to have them in there.
It is.
I felt dumb. I really did. Like, I was going through the cards like a couple weeks after that, and I was like, oh, wow, that's a really good effect. Yeah. But I was kind of stubborn. It's like, Jason said I should put this in there. I already put my foot down, so I don't fucking need it. Now it's really
I didn't even care. Like, I was just
I know it. You never care, but it's like a psychological thing for like me, whereas like I can't show weakness.
It wasn't even like that with the other thing too, with the XYZ guy. It was just like, oh yeah, I guess I'll check it out. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. It's a good idea. I should probably put it in there. But then I still had my objections. Like, I wish it was a Medulce. That'd be cooler. But I don't have anything like that that will help. So then everybody else started doing it too. Like,
Yeah.
it just became a common thing. I was like, well, I guess I just might as well because it'll help. It was like somebody would be like absolutely foot down, no, like because you're like at the effect veiler.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, absolutely not. And I've had arguments with people online about my Dolce Day. Like, why don't you have effect veiler? And they're like, no.
Well, at the time though, like
I know
breakthrough skill wasn't out.
I know.
When I was saying that, like, and the only reason I was in there for like a double-edged sword because you could negate their effect.
Well,
but you still
like that's the whole thing. Like, there's 8,000 life points to every 2 people, and the whole point of the game is to knock them down to 0. I can win with fucking 100 life points. I will win with 100 life points. I don't need 800 life points to win.
I came back to win with 200 life points.
Yeah.
I think it was against you, actually.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I don't remember the match, but...
You were up, like, way high, though.
Yeah. Shit happens on a dime in Yu-Gi-Oh! Talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot, though.
Yeah,
I'll probably play Yu-Gi-Oh! Eventually.
Yeah. About 15 minutes we've been talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually.
Huh?
We've been talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! For about 15 minutes.
Have we been talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! For 15 minutes? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Sure, we
Which
can
is
talk
weird.
about
We have not talked about it for, like, months.
Yeah, months.
Months. Like, it's not even...
And brought up, yeah.
It's not even been on our radar.
Well, I guess... I don't know.
Really? Like, conversation...
Conversation-wise, no.
No. Like...
Not at all. Privately, I've been keeping up on Yu-Gi-Oh! A little bit.
I try and watch, like, Asian Eyes White Dragon stuff, but...
Yeah. I was gonna say, did you ever watch that? There was, like, a video of, like, this guy who won, not the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament, but the Magic Tournament. And, obviously, Yu-Gi-Oh!'s got an online thing. Magic's got an online thing.
I used to actually take, like, Sundays off when they had, like, the big tournaments, and they would have, like, a live stream, and I would watch.
Yeah, I would
like,
watch those too.
The 8 finalists and stuff.
This guy who was, like, he won the Nationals. He was online dueling people, because people win, like, Nationals and stuff, they think it's funny to go duel.
Like,
random people and kick their ass and make fun of them. Or just kind of laugh. Or help them out. Whatever. He was dueling this kid who just been playing for like a week, and he totally got his ass kicked. And the whole video is him going, "What the fuck? What the fuck? No, oh my god, how the fuck?" And he's like trying to like play against him, and he just got shut down everywhere. It was like he could not. He was laughing about it. He's like, "I can't believe I'm losing this back." And then like something would happen, and be like, "Oh my god." I seen Asian Eyes get his ass kicked like that once too. It was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah. Well, he'll be the first to admit that
yeah.
he's horrible at the game, but he has a lot of knowledge about it. Like he's
there's a lot. I think that's the thing I like about Yu-Gi-Oh! Or even Magic. It doesn't matter how good you are or how much you know about it. It's still a game of chance.
Yeah, it's all about luck.
Yeah, there's 40 cards. You have to draw into it.
You can weigh the scales in your favor by doing the multiple copies and make a very consistent deck. But there's still that chance where your opening hand in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is nothing.
I don't think Brent ever understood that. Because that was like so many arguments we've had with Brent.
If you put these in there, you'll get it.
Yeah, he's like, well, if you have this in your deck, you're guaranteed to win. Like, that's 1 out of 40 fucking cards, or even 3 out of 40 cards. You still have to draw into it.
Light and Prisoner and Shadow and Prisoner.
Yeah.
Those are the big ones he always pushes.
And I was always saying...
Which, they're good cards.
Yeah.
I get that. And I don't know, maybe it's just him. He has his natural, like, luck about him.
Weird.
He's, like, a very unlucky guy.
Yeah.
But for, like, those cards, like, every time I've dueled against him, like, we were playing, like, my fairy deck or, like, a shadow deck or, like, anything, like, light and dark, and I'll throw him in there. Like, his opening hand, he has, like, either one of each or, like, 2 of one of them. Yeah. Every time. It never fucking fails.
No, it doesn't always happen. I've noticed, like, there's been games where he's like, "Oh, my deck doesn't like me right now," where he would just...
If I had drawn this.
Yeah, if I had drawn this.
Like what you did.
That's the same, like...
It's not about the what-ifs.
Yeah, you can have all the great cards in your deck and not draw one of them. Or not draw them when you need them. And you might discard them or put them face down and get destroyed. you don't get a chance to use them. It doesn't matter what you have in there. It's such a game of chance that I don't think a lot of people understand that. It's like shit happens. Like I remember, I heard a thing like just a normal pack of regular playing cards. I'm not talking about Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic, just regular 1, 2, 3s, diamonds, clubs, pearls, whatever. Yeah, pearls.
Clubs and spades.
Every time you shuffle all those decks, it's a different shuffle every single time, mathematically.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's shuffle is different too.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever has the same shuffle, which I kind of think that might be a little bit biased, but it might be true. And that's what, 52 cards?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's 52 cards you shuffle, and they end up different every single time. It's the same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic. You shuffle those cards, it's different every single time. You have to play accordingly. You have to play on the fly. You have to be able to play quick. But it doesn't matter if you have one rare card they only made one copy of and you have it in your deck. You're not guaranteed to win. That might be the last card at the bottom of your deck, and you could die at fucking 5 cards in.
Whenever I build an Exodia deck, the head's always in the last 5 cards. Every time.
Every time?
Every time. I have to go through my entire... And never once have I been like, I still have 20 cards in my deck, and I have all of them.
But that's a really good example, too, because Exodia is like one of the first...
Like
5 card win.
Yeah,
automatic win. And not everybody wins with it.
No.
Not everybody. It's
it's
always an odyssey when it happens, because people like surround the table and like, oh, he got Exodia. Holy shit! Like,
yeah, but now it's like they streamlined that deck to the point where like there's so much draw.
Still kind of, even
there's ways to shut it down.
I'm not even saying that. Like even with the streamlined power, I've seen people. Sometimes takes people a while to get to Exodia.
Yeah.
Even it's not like a 5 card or a 3 card draw win.
No, you have to go through like literally your entire deck, and for me, it's every fucking time.
Sometimes it can't be. But that's just the whole point I'm trying to make. Like, it's randomness, you know? It's like, it's never a guaranteed thing. Anyway, if it was, it would be a boring game. Nobody would play it. I feel. I mean, it would just be...
If you know you're going to win, why do it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You need that...
element of surprise. You're like, yeah, you know what's going to happen. Is there any video games you're looking forward to or anything?
Not really. I haven't played any. I'm trying. I'm getting on the PlayStation Network trying to find the Champions of Norrath, which was a game I played. It was a PS2 game.
It's not on the network?
It's not on there.
Oh,
and that game I was talking about last time is Radiant Stories is what the game was called. It's on. If you go to like this.
Is it on there?
If you go to the PlayStation site online. It'll show you exactly what it is, and you go to the store on the PlayStation Network on your PS3 or PS4. I can't fucking find it, and it's annoying as fuck.
Did you type it in the toolbar? I'm sure you did that.
Yeah, I searched it. Nothing. Nothing. I was really annoyed.
Might took it down since then. I mean, they just didn't update one or the other.
Well, no, I think it was just showing like a history of like, oh yes, this game exists.
It did, yeah. Yeah.
It's real. It's real. You can't play it. It's real though.
Well, you can play it. I'm sure you can eBay it or.
Yeah, eBay or Amazon it.
That's too bad though.
Yeah. I wanted to play it.
Like I thought it was really weird, because our friend Chris, and you probably heard Chris on the podcast before, loves playing Diablo.
Yeah.
And
me to play that. Yeah.
I saw like not that long ago he posted a picture that he bought Diablo 3.
Yes.
And he was excited, and he's like, I go over his house, and I'm like, he's playing Diablo 3, because he was always playing Diablo 3 at his house. And I'm like, I thought you already had Diablo 3.
It was like an expansion or whatever.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I bought the expansion. Why did you buy the expansion? If you had it. I was like, didn't you have Diablo 3? He's like, yeah, I had.
I think they just added on. It was like a DLC or something.
It was DLC.
Yeah, but like, it was almost as much as like another game though.
No, it wasn't. Probably been like no more than Mass Effect DLC.
Extra $10-15.
You would have paid. You would have paid less because you're paying the whole game plus $60. You would have paid $60 for DLC. I'm getting that. He already had the game, and I was like, why didn't you go to the network and pay like $9 for all this DLC? I don't have
internet.
No, he has internet.
Oh,
He watches YouTube on his
Oh,
place.
he does.
And I was like, I know he has internet, so I was like, why didn't you just go to the store and buy it? It would have been cheaper. And buy like two. He has 2 games. He has 2 Diablo games. I'm like, why did you buy it? He goes, I don't have a network account. Why? It's free. I was like, do you have a email account? He's like, yeah. I was like, just make a goddamn fucking. I was like, you could buy like games on the store, like really super cheap, like sometimes $9, the cheapest. $4, I think I've seen one before. He goes, I don't know how to set it up. I'm like, it's fucking easy as fuck. You just
tells you how to do.
Yeah. He goes, what's your email address? What do you want your password to be? What do you want your handle to be? All right,
You're done.
you're done. Purchase stuff at our store. Download it to your PlayStation. I was like, you could have bought. I was like, now what are you gonna do? He's like, well, I'm probably gonna sell one of the games. I'm like, you're not. You just lost money. You lost a shit ton of money doing that route because you're not gonna be able to sell the old Diablo game for what you paid for the new one because it doesn't have the DLC and now they have the DLC pack. So obviously that this one's gonna be like what, $20. You spent $60 for this, so you probably only get $20 back. You could have spent fucking $9 and just got every fucking thing.
I don't know, man.
That's so fucking weird to me. I'm like, why did you do it like that?
Maybe it's something about like I have this weird thing where like I physically like to have like people like I'm not against like iTunes and shit like that.
Right. I don't know either.
But I like to physically have like the
Yeah.
CD or
I
the
do
cassette or the vinyl or whatever or like
Yeah.
or like the DVDs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I want to actually like physically have them. Like
Yeah.
I like Audible and like all that stuff. Like they read the books and shit to you. But I like to physically have the books. Like,
Yeah. No, I get
like,
that.
I don't want to get like one of those. What is the
But
like a tablet where it's all about the books and shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to get that because I like having a
No.
physical book. Like
I totally understand that.
so
but-
I can see that
That's not really what happened.
aspect of it. Like, if that was his answer to it,
I wanted
I would completely understand. Like I want to have the physical disc of it, and be like, all right, fine.
because they're constantly updating that, and I doubt that's the last of their DLC.
Maybe not, but if that's like his prerogative, like if that was
That's just...
if that was me, I probably would have done the same thing. But I'm also not gonna spend like $60 for a game.
Again?
Yeah. No, since like Mass Effect 3.
That's like $120 by that point.
Huh?
It's like $120 by that point.
But like no, like a new game. Like I'm not like saying I'm buying Diablo 3 and then.
But I was saying that's what he did. He bought Diablo 3 twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just like retarded to me. Like, you know, it's I can understand having the physical copy, but he already had the physical copy, in my opinion. In fact, he even had he has the original,
Yeah.
which would be
So
more.
how much was the Reaper of Souls? Or was the Reaper of Souls like the whole game plus this?
It's the whole game plus that.
Okay, then I'll get that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
Now I thought you meant you were just like buying just the DLC.
No. He bought.
That's what I thought you were.
It was
saying.
the game plus the DLC added to it.
Yeah, I don't get that one then.
That's like what they do sometimes.
Like when they have like the game.
Because some people don't have internet. That's why they do that shit.
Yeah, like they did it like with like Borderlands and Borderlands
Right,
2.
right.
They'll sell you the original game, and then like they'll have like even like when they have like the anniversary words, use them correctly, and they'll like add all the DLCs and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exact same thing.
The Game of the Year edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I got it. I'm on board.
Yeah.
I'm on here.
Yeah.
I got it.
But that's it. That's what I'm saying. That's what happened.
No, yeah, that makes no sense.
Yeah. That's that was my whole shock at that point.
I completely
'Cause
understand what you're saying.
my confusion at first was like, why the fuck did you buy Diablo again when you already had it? I needed the DLC. But you have internet. Why didn't you just download it from the store? I don't have an account to do that. I don't know how to do that. I'll show you how to do it. I don't want to do it. Why? Did you spend $120? Literally, because he's got no gain from that. I mean, other if he sells the old copy of the old copy.
You might make.
Let's say he might make $20.
Yeah.
But it's like, but in your argument that you just made, you want to have the original copy. The DLC pack isn't the original copy. It's this brand new one. They just came out with all that shit on it, but it's not the original. He has the original game. fucking just bought the damn DLC. Why did you do that? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, I'll help you do it. Even don't worry about it.
Yeah.
God damn it, Chris.
I don't know.
Like, I bought all the Mass Effect games. I bought Mass Effect 2, and I purchased all the DLC online. I didn't need to go buy the Mass Effect expansion DLC pack, even though I think they did have that eventually, but...
For Mass Effect 1 and shit?
Or 2.
Or 2. Well, they had a lot of stuff for Mass Effect 2.
But I think they did make a physical disc that had all the DLC on it.
I think so too.
But I didn't need it, because I already purchased it off in the store. And even if my PlayStation died and I lost all my information, my DLC purchase still
like, yeah.
They let you do it like up to a certain amount of time, like re-download. And I'm sure if I threw a big enough fit and was like, I just want my DLC, they probably let me have it. Just blew my mind. I don't know why people do that. And it's like, and I was telling him, you know all these other games you get, like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World? That's a fucking awesome goddamn game for PlayStation. It's fun. And you can play online with your friends now. And it's fun. And I was telling him about it. He's like, that does sound fun. I was like, you get out of the store. It's got to have a physical disc. I don't know. I'll think about it, man. Just trying to help you out, buddy. Yeah.
Some
People, yeah. I'm running out of things to talk about.
That's okay, we're out of time anyway. I think we're actually out of time, like...
A while ago.
15 minutes ago.
During the Yu-Gi-Oh conversation?
Yeah. Like, anything
I get cut out, be like, Yu-Gi-Oh! And then was like, well, we're out of time.
No, this is going to be an extra long podcast.
Oh, for the lack of waiting?
Yeah.
Because Tad hurt himself.
You know, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't...
It wasn't your fault. Thank God.
I feel like it's my fault. You're like, oh, is this because Tad got hurt? And it's like, yeah. It's
it was your fault, though. If Tad gets hurt, I'm sorry, people, the podcast is getting delayed. I just didn't know, there's no insight. If I get hurt, I'll probably struggle through it and try to make the podcast happen. But if Tad doesn't want to do it, it's not happening, so just deal with it, people. I didn't even pressure him into that. Like, I wasn't even like, I don't want to, I'm feeling dizzy today, I don't want to do it. I'm like, don't worry about it, man.
Well, Tuesday, like that's Tuesday, I was like, alright, I think I sent you a message, like, we're going to try and do the podcast tonight.
Yeah, trying to set it up.
And then I totally passed out for like 6 hours going home.
Yeah, I didn't even call you.
No.
He's asleep.
I'm not even going to fuck with it.
Yeah, I'm not even going to mess with it.
You woke up at like 2 o'clock that morning, I was like, shit, I wanted to do that podcast. I was ready to go, like,
the podcast is going to happen, but now...
Nope.
Alright.
Alright.
Well, good night, people. Stay tuned for the next
morning.
podcast.
Good morning.
We'll have, well, I don't know what time they're watching it.
Yeah, no, that's why I had good morning. You said good night. You said good night, so I want to say good morning.
You're going to like a whole,
or good afternoon, or...
Yeah.
I think that covers it.
What's that Jim Carrey movie? Truman Show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
That's a good movie.
We covered all the bases.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.